Brad, you have a poll here about Lamar Jackson.
Must Lamar Jackson have to win a Super Bowl to change his narrative? Now, we always know that, especially as Ravens fans, we know how scrutinized Lamar has been because of the style of play. He's not, quote, quarterbacky enough. He should be a running back or wide receiver, yada, yada. He can't win playoff games. The question was asked on ESPN. We're looking at the results here. 70% of you say yes. And so would love to share a couple videos from that conversation, and we'll start with Dan's comments on this. Dan Orlovsky, and react to this on the other side. We also have Kimberly Martin, so there's two conflicting opinions, and then want to get your guys' opinions as well on the other side. So take a listen to this.
And hear me when I say this, Molly, Kimberly, Stephen A., and everybody. This is not pandering. This is not caping. This is the dead honest truth. And there's a little bit of insight to this. People that sound, or players that sound, look, and play like Lamar Jackson were never supposed to win Super Bowls in the NFL. In people's eyes, they were never supposed to win Super Bowls in the NFL. You weren't supposed to be able to stand on the podium and sound the way that Lamar does when he talks, or look the way that Lamar does when he talks, or play like the way that Lamar plays and win a Super Bowl. You might be good. You might win an MVP. There's people in the league, and they have publicly said, I don't care how many MVPs he wins. He will never win a Super Bowl playing quarterback. I don't care what they say. I think Lamar is very aware of that. I think Lamar is very aware of no matter what I do, until I win a Super Bowl, people are always going to think that I should have played running back. And that people that look like me, or kids that look like me, or come from the background that I do, or sound like I do, can't go play quarterback and win a Super Bowl in the NFL. Here's the thing for me, Stephen A., Kimberly, and Molly. We've had other black quarterbacks win Super Bowls in the NFL. Patrick Mahomes has won. Russell Wilson has won. Doug Williams has won. But when we hear those names at quarterback, we think throw first. We think a thrower or a passer first. We don't with Lamar. Most people think runner with Lamar. Most people think of athlete with Lamar. And for him to go win a Super Bowl, win the Super Bowl, it completely changes the narrative around Lamar. It completely changes the narrative around that position when it comes to players that look and sound and play like Lamar, not only for people that are close to his age, but kids that watch Lamar. And I think their organization's very aware of it. I think their head coach is abundantly aware of it. And I think Lamar is very unapologetically aware of it, that he can't just get there. He has to win it.
So there is a lot to dissect with that. And I know we're going to hear the other part of this. So the first thing is, just so people, if you tuned in halfway through or right at the end, Dan Orlovsky is just pointing out that the persona and the image of Lamar Jackson and how you're supposed to play quarterback, Lamar broke what that looked like in the eyes of everyone to play the quarterback position. Lamar Jackson's transformed the quarterback position. Yes, you had guys ahead of him like a Cam Newton or Robert Griffin III that came in, and granted, the narrative that happened is that those guys don't last. Mm-hmm. But here we are. Lamar Jackson is on the verge of being a two-time MVP, and it has the Ravens on the chance, or has another chance, to be hopefully going to the Super Bowl. They're the number one seed for the second time in the last four or five seasons. Sorry, 2019, 20, 21, 22. 5 seasons. Sorry, my math a little bit off here. Point being, you hear Dan's side. So just so people understand that, he is pointing out the perspective of the pressure that Lamar Jackson is facing because of what the evaluation of a quarterback to be a winning, Super Bowl winning quarterback is. Now, Brad, if you don't mind, Kimberly Martin then has another perspective on this that we want to show you, and then we will tie this all together.
That he's also playing with. Like, it's not just I'm doing this for myself, for my team. Within that organization, sitting down with members of the front office, talking about what he means to the community and how that's so important. Like, his role in Baltimore, it's not just about championships, it's about what he means to this city that's filled with people that look just like him. Like, I think
Sure.
We're talking about football, but Lamar's place in it goes beyond just the X's and O's and the final scores. And unfortunately, he doesn't talk about it publicly But we all know, the journey that he's on. We all know
he has
what it's
people
like.
close to him who speak for him in that regard. In that regard, with stuff like that, there are people connected to his life
Yes.
who will disseminate that message on his behalf. He
Yes.
chooses not to do that
Yes,
himself.
100%. But he is keenly aware
Very much so.
of the expectations and what it is to be a guy who's not the prototypical QB frame, physique, all that. Look, he understands the importance of that, and he's authentic. He is who he is, and there is something that I wish people didn't spend so much time trying to nitpick and move the goalposts on him, because when you spend so much time doing that, you are missing one of the greatest talents right now that we have in the NFL, when you celebrate the talents of a Josh Allen and a Joe Burrow and a Patrick Mahomes, not saying they're all equal in talent, but they're all special. And Lamar should be celebrated in that same way. Unfortunately for Lamar, people will not, once he wins a Super Bowl, then no one can say anything.
Yeah.
That's the shame of it.
I agree. And we're going to go around the table here. Zach, I'll start with you. But this is the conversation. Lamar is a special player. He's one of the he's a generational talent. He's one of those players, when you look at a guy, even like Kimberly mentioned, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, those are guys you want to watch. And Lamar Jackson is blockbuster, must-see TV. And by the way, he's one of the best at what he's done, not just now, but he's going to possibly go down as one of the best quarterbacks to ever play. But we're still having the conversation about how people view Lamar based off of if he wins the big games. And I don't think that that's necessarily, I understand the argument, but it's not necessarily fair either.
2-time All-Pro, 3-time Pro Bowl, future 2-time MVP. And yet we are still having the same conversation over and over again. And I'm not sure it will ever end. And I was talking earlier to someone about this. I don't think people are going to truly appreciate how great and how incredible it is to watch Lamar Jackson play football until it's over, until he's out of the league. And then people will look back and realize, holy crap, he was the most electrifying player we've ever seen. And it's because I've seen people say it in the comments, and Kimberly put it great. If you are moving the goalposts and you are so focused on nitpicking and finding the little things that Lamar Jackson doesn't do, you're missing the greatest show in football at the moment. You're not appreciating that somebody can put a team on their back. And for the first 5 years of his career, it was putting the team on his back. He had to go do everything. People get upset and saying, oh, he would have to run for first downs. He'd have to make big plays with his legs. He had to, because if he didn't, no one else could. No one else would. And so now he finally has these weapons. He's doing things through the air. He's putting on another MVP season. And yet we still have people saying that you can't win a Super Bowl with him. So Kimberly said, right, after Lamar wins the Super Bowl, they can't say anything.
Yeah, and that's also the narrative of getting to the AFC Championship, right? Lamar can't get to a championship game. Then it's going to be, well, Lamar can't win a Super Bowl. Until it finally happens, you're going to keep having that same conversation. And I don't think it's fair. Lamar is young. We talked about earlier, Roquan Smith is 26. Lamar is 27.
Just turned 27, like what, seven days ago?
Couple weeks
So
ago,
11 days ago.
So young. And right here, Joe S. and Joe, thank you for tuning in. When Lamar's on the field, they win games.
Yep.
Nothing but win when Lamar's on. And Kevin, that's the point. What's the goal? Win games. I know that it's a short sample size for Lamar in the playoffs, but given what he's asked to do, Lamar has done just as much as any quarterback is asked, if not more, so far as his time as quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, and I'll never forget the combine in 2018 when Lamar was getting ready to get drafted. And he sat up there on that podium. I tweeted out every combine, and all the questions were about, well, would you consider a change to wide receiver? What do you say to maybe being a dual position player? And he sat up there for a good, really almost that entire interview and was, I'm a quarterback. Respectfully, I'm a quarterback. And that was the whole question. Every single question was about that. And it's been about, Zach said, moving the goalpost. It's, well, he can't play quarterback in the NFL. And then he shows he can do it, which I know a lot of people in Baltimore already believed in. And it's, well, he can't do it consistently at a high level. Well, he can't win an MVP. Well, he can't win a playoff game. And it's just going to continue to move.
He can't go far.
Move.
Now he can't go far in the playoffs.
Exactly. And when you look at Lamar's play, has he been up to the standard they've needed him to be in the playoffs? No. I mean, we can say that. But I'm not here to pin it all on Lamar. You remember the Titans game? We all do. How many drops did the Ravens receivers have in that game? That's 7. It was 7 drops. If you remember, the play that sticks out to me is that Seth Roberts play that would have probably gone for a touchdown if he didn't drop it. So again, I'm not saying Lamar is absolved of all blame and there's nothing to put on him in the playoffs, but it's not all on him. And then when and if, I'm going to say when at this point Lamar wins a Super Bowl, then the goalposts will be moved to, well, he can't win multiple. Mahomes has won 2. He's only won. It continues to go here. Lamar has proven he is great. He's proven he can win. And if he wins a Super Bowl, or when he wins a Super Bowl, Rocco's talked about it, right? We've talked about it on the show, how hard it is to win. I mean, how hard is it to win a Super Bowl, right? I mean, the list of how many great athletes, how many great quarterbacks have not been able to go and win, or they go and they fail. Lamar hasn't done anything in the playoffs yet. We're still sitting here ahead of the division round for Houston. But maybe you look back on this in a month or 2 months from now. Maybe he's won it. Maybe he hasn't. But regardless of how the playoffs go, it's going to change some of the thought process around him. But like Zach said, I unfortunately don't think all these narratives and goalpost movers are going to end, because they're going to try to find a way to discredit him, because
Joe Burrow didn't play.
He's exactly. It's someone who can throw for 170 yards or 220 yards a game, and the Ravens can win by 30. And it's not just Lamar that can do that, but you have to be a pretty darn good quarterback to have that, where you can impact the game beyond passing yards, beyond passing touchdowns, because defenses are so afraid of you. They have to throw the kitchen sink at you, and you still can't stop them for the most part. So it's impressive to me.
Yes. And I think the biggest compliment I have, or what I've realized in any profession, is when your peers, not the guys even on your own team, around the league, around just in circles who know the game or watching, of going, he's unbelievable. He is a nightmare to defend. I don't know how to stop him. These are some of the best. These are the best players in the world saying that. That's not analysts saying it. Those are people that have to go out there and try to make plays against Lamar Jackson. And I just want to say this. Winning is so damn hard, Kevin, right? You say it all the time. Yes, Tom Brady set the precedent of what happened for him. GOAT for that. 7 Super Bowls, you kidding me? The culture, the mindset that he brought to the teams that he was on with the Patriots and the Bucks. But it doesn't discredit the great performances of these quarterbacks. I want people to appreciate Lamar Jackson. Appreciate that you're watching greatness. You don't have to like Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers' narrative, he can't win the playoffs. Okay, he won a Super Bowl. He's still one of the best quarterbacks. Peyton Manning, great quarterback. Really, one of the best quarterbacks of our time in the NFL, right? Lamar Jackson is right up there with all those guys. If he wins, and when he wins, then his name's going to keep climbing up there. But unfortunately, everyone's going to look at Lamar Jackson as his style of play is not going to lead to further success. Well, right now it has. And the last thing he needs to check off that list is a Super Bowl title. And I expect Lamar Jackson, and I believed him on draft night. That is one of the best speeches and I still go back to watch it. It gives me chills. When he says, it doesn't matter, I'm a Raven. They're going to get the best out of me. They're going to get a Super Bowl out of me. Believe that. Believe that.
Believe that.
That's what you also want. You want a guy that's confident in himself. He bet the house on himself in every part of his career. And all he's done has been successful. Why not have it one more time? And hey, Kevin, shout out to you from Engraven.
Oh, there he is.
There he
Engraven,
is.
my guy. That is the go to. You talk about goats.
Yeah.
That's the go to YouTube right there.
Oh my God, that's goat. It's goat status. That was like the OG. Like take Ravens Twitter and YouTube to the next level.